Katrina and I'm a shit student. Yeah. I hate studying and I am incredibly lazy. Yeah. Yeah. No, seriously, if you have watched any of my previous videos, then you probably know that I'm not a really good student. And just because I'm not a big fan of conventional ways of studying, I thought I would share my way of studying, which doesn't feel like studying at all. You know? In this video, I would like to give you some tips and tricks for studying without actual studying. Yeah, but first of all, we have to get certain things right. In order to follow my methods, you have to have the right mindset. So let's just make sure that we are on the same page, right? So repeat after me. I love English. I make mistakes when I speak and I don't give a fuck. I don't understand everything when I'm listening to something, and guess what? I don't give a fuck. I study English for me, not for my boss, not for my colleagues, not for my friends, not because I want to impress other people or I want to make a good impression on others. No, I study because of me. I want to make myself happy. I love English because it gives me freedom. I don't have to wait for TV series and films to be translated, right? I love the freedom. I love the independence. I love the fact that English allows me to communicate with people from all over the world, and I can find people who share the same passions, who have the same interests, and we can become one big family. Right? Good boy, good girl. In this video we are going to focus on all of the areas of studying a second language, which means the input and output. Input meaning reading and listening, output meaning speaking and writing, right? Because in order to be a successful speaker, yeah, you have to do both, you know? These two things have to be balanced. You have to consume and you have to produce, right? Because if you focus on only one of those, what might happen is that, for example, you are really good at understanding, you can watch films and TV series, but you cannot speak. Or, on the other hand, you are really good at talking, but you don't understand the native speakers, right? And that's not ideal, so we have to focus on all of those things. Right, so the first one is reading, right? I hate reading, yeah. I think the last time I opened a book was like 3 years ago, yeah. Like, reading is quite boring for me, so I'm not a big fan, let's say. So I like to keep it as natural as possible. Tip number one is changing your phone. And not only your phone, all of your devices into English. Your phone, your laptop, your TV, your PC, all of those devices have to be in English. And not only your devices, all of the platforms you are using. Your email, your YouTube, your Instagram, all of the social media, your Google, Netflix, all of these things, set it into English. Yeah. A lot of people think that, you know, like, oh my god, I'm not gonna understand, like, you know, no, fuck you. You will. You've been using those devices every bloody day. You know where things are. You recognize the icons. You know, you can send an email even when you turn it into Chinese. Yeah, change it into Chinese and trust me, you will be able to get your way around it. So change everything. It's gonna take a couple of days for you to get used to that, but you will eventually get used to it. So do it now. I will wait. Come on. You might be thinking, you know, like this, you know, it's not reading. Like, no, it is. It is. With this simple step, you are just making sure that even on those laziest days, you still consume English. Like your English brain is still activated, stimulated. You see English even when you don't feel like studying or consuming any other content in English. Like that's your base, that's your anchor. Yeah. Step number 2 is social media, obviously, right? If you've got Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, obviously, right? All of these things, you have to include some English content in it, obviously. In terms of like reading on social media, you can follow a lot of different platforms. For example, my all-time favorite one is The Language Nerds. Best website in the entire world. I just love it. They've got Facebook, they've got Instagram, they're everywhere. And what they do is that they create interesting articles, interesting pictures, interesting photos. There is just a lot of like wonderful, entertaining content, which is fun, right? So as you are scrolling through your social media, like there could be an article that just catches your attention, and even when you feel like, oh, I don't want to study today, you are curious, you know, it arouses your curiosity, and that's what we want, because these articles are really, really entertaining. It's fun, it's cute, you know, and it's just gorgeous. Another one is the 9gag or sarcasm, very British problems, for example. Like there is a lot of platforms or websites which provide interesting articles. So I recommend those. So as you are just, you know, like scrolling, these things might catch your attention, and you know, voila, you might find yourself reading. You know, it's just entertaining. You are not reading it because you want to study English. You are reading it because you are interested in the content, right? And that's what we want. That's what we need, right? Combining your interests and English, right? That's that. You don't have to understand everything. You don't have to do any deep research. Just read it. Just skim through the text, you know? Let your English brain, you know, like suck it in and move on. You know, move on to the content that you prefer. You know, just like that. This brings us into listening, obviously. So again, on your social media, preferably as you are scrolling, you should have like snippets of conversations. There is a lot of people who are saying jokes, for example. There is a lot of channels that provide motivational quotes, motivational content, you know, fun facts about this planet, for example, or like anything you are interested in. Just follow and subscribe to this short content. For example, I love podcasts and I love conversations of people. So on my social media, I have little snippets from Joe Rogan's podcast or the Diary of a CEO podcast, or a lot of like other clever people, like, you know, scientists, psychologists, because as you have probably realized, my brain is a little bit broken, so I need help. So I consume a lot of this content. So as I'm going through my social media, boom, there are people talking about something and I hear it and it's cool. Yeah, of course, like some educational content, but also mostly fun content. Again, like think about your passions and combine it with English, whether you like cooking or I don't know, cooking, gardening, makeup, fashion, cars, technology, gaming. Like, oh my god, there is, like, I can guarantee that there is a person on the internet talking about your hobby in English. Like 100%. You know, find them. Like, this is the only thing you actually have to do. Think about yourself, what you like, what you enjoy. Search for that particular content in English and feed your social media with this type of a content, and that's all you need. That's just all you need. And if you don't understand, fuck it. If there is something you don't know, fuck it. It doesn't matter. It's fine. Just ignore it. Because, you know, I follow a very simple rule, which is if I hear it only once, I don't need it, right? And if it's important, I will hear it again. It's a simple rule, and it works. You know, when I hear a new word once, I'm like, oh, that's interesting, and I'm like, yeah, fuck it, you know, see you later. If I don't see it, I don't care. If I hear it again, I'm like, oh, I heard it before. I'm like, oh, okay, we have to be friends now. Come here, baby. Let's be friends. And then, of course, the long content. There is a lot of teachers on YouTube, right? But these videos are boring, you know, even I cannot watch them all the time. Like, today we will talk about the difference between present perfect and past simple. It's boring. Like, I'm sorry, but you know, most teachers on YouTube are boring, and this content is boring, and I cannot watch it. Even I can't. Although I watch it when I want to double check if I understand things correctly, but I cannot consume that like all the bloody time, like every single day. Like, no thank you. No. What I watch are videos that, or people that do something I am interested in. I love traveling, so I watch people who travel. I love the human brain, so I watch people who talk about the human brain. I love cooking, so I watch cooking videos, you know? So for me, it counts as a chill time. It is a chill time. It just is, you know? I don't feel like I'm studying when I'm watching it. Is it effective? Yes, it is. Even when you don't understand everything, it doesn't matter. It works. Trust me. Trust me. Now let's talk about the output, right? Oh my god, I'm getting really hot. My ears are red. Okay, so now the output, right? Speaking, writing. I'm not a big fan of writing. So my only writing that I do is like sending emails, messages over teaching platforms, and that's about it. I'm not a big fan of writing, so we will just ignore that one. But speaking is the one. As you probably know, I'm the self-talk queen. Of course, the first thing that, you know, can get you speaking is booking lessons. For example, on italki, you can book a lesson with me. So on italki, you can book lessons with teachers just to, you know, practice speaking. But let's be honest, like, these lessons are quite pricey, right? So if you are broke like me, then you might need to practice speaking by yourself, right? Thinking English, speaking English, whatever, but you need to produce something in English by yourself. And even when you take lessons, you know, like once a week, twice a week, it's not enough. You should be doing this every single day. Yeah, but it's quite difficult to remember to do that. Like when I ask my students, you know, like, how often do you talk to yourself? They're like, yeah, I really wanted to, but I usually forget. So what I recommend is creating a habit. Create a habit, so no matter what happens, like, you just know that when you do this, it is connected with speaking English or thinking in English. It depends on, like, if you know, there are people around you or not, if you can, like, speak out loud or not. And there are so many occasions when you are drinking your morning coffee, when you eat your lunch, right? You are eating. Okay, you cannot speak, but you can think in English, right? When you are brushing your teeth, for example, you are standing in a bathroom. There is nothing, you know, you do. You just do this. And you have to think about something, right? So you can do that in English. So every time you pick up the bloody toothbrush, you can have a deal with yourself, like, every time I'm brushing my teeth, every time I'm brushing my teeth, I will think in English, right? And, you know, brushing your teeth like conveniently happens at the beginning of your day and at the end of your day, right? So in the morning, you can think about your day. What's your plan for the day? Today, I'm gonna go to work and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Then after that, I'm gonna go shopping. What's wrong with my... You know, you can summarize your plan for that day. In the evening, you can think about what you actually have done throughout the day. So today I woke up at 7 a.m. Today I woke up at 7 a.m. I went to work, I did this, I did that, I met up with my friend, blah, blah, blah. That's 2 conversations you can have with yourself every single day. When you are driving, it's another one. You're driving, you cannot do much, right? Driving is a great opportunity for you to consume something, you know, like listen to some podcasts, for example, listen to music in English, you know, it's a good one. Or it's a great opportunity for you to produce something. You are in a car, alone, nobody can hear you, so you can just describe what you see, like I am driving, this is a steering wheel, yeah, I'm heading to my office and today is going to be an amazing day, the sun is shining, you know, whatever. Like if you keep doing it again and again and again, it will become more natural and you will start doing it subconsciously, automatically, and you will start thinking in English, therefore speaking in English will become much easier. When you are walking somewhere, you go to a supermarket, you walk your dog, toilet breaks, you can multitask. When you are washing your dishes, you know, like during all of these activities, you can multitask. But you have to make that decision that, you know, every time I do this activity, English is a part of it, no matter what. It's about like you choosing a specific routine, right? So for example, I myself, when I'm drinking my morning coffee, I go through my social media and I consume, I read in English and I listen to English as well, because it's not only pictures, I have videos, right? So I listen to English, I read English. Sometimes I scroll through Facebook and I see some interesting article from the language nerds, for example, and I read it. Then I brush my teeth. And as I'm brushing my teeth, I'm thinking about the students that I'm gonna have on that day, you know, and I'm like, oh, I'm excited to see that person. Oh yeah, with that person we agreed to do this activity or whatever, and I'm like summarizing my plan for that day. Then when I have my lunch break, I watch longer content, right? I love, for example, Zoe Sugg, you know, she's just a girl living in Brighton where I used to live. It's just a very chilled, cozy, happy, positive content. Then I go for a walk with my dog. I either think in English, and just because I live in a countryside and we go for a walk in a forest, I can speak out loud. So I speak out loud when I walk my dog, yeah, and I just talk about anything, you know, how I'm feeling, what's happening in my life. Sometimes I go for a run and I listen to a podcast. I have a deal that every time I go for a run, I listen to a podcast, and every time I want to listen to a podcast, I have to go for a run. Like really deep chats about the human brain, psychology, or just, you know, like some stories of successful people. And in the evening I go for some deep content, for example, some body language analysis, interrogations. I'm really into interrogations at the moment. So for example, explore with us. Then again, I brush my teeth, right? So again, I think in English, I summarize my day, right? And then when I go to bed, I listen to true crime stories, and that's about it. Of course, like, you know, I teach English every day. So 90% of my time is filled with like real conversations with people, but this was my routine even when I lived in England by myself, and at that time I couldn't speak with people on daily basis. So what I want you to take from this video is fuck studying. Just have fun, you know, like just have fun. If you want to be like successful and comfortable and confident, English has to be your lifestyle. It's not just like something you do like 1 hour per week. No, it's a lifestyle. It's a part of you. It's a part of your personality. It's a part of your life. So it has to be with you everywhere you go. And the more you do it, the better you become. That's it, I guess. So I am wishing you a fantastic rest of the week. Stay happy and healthy, and I will catch you later.